Hey everyone, it's Yvonne Emil Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling, also known as Silver Moon Counseling. And I am here today because I want to share a little activity that I like to do that is a little witchy activity. It involves crystals and herbs and energy work. And I enjoy it, and I think you might too, especially if you are looking to set a certain energetic vibe in your environment, like your room, your car, your office. And this method has worked absolutely wonders for me. And every time I forget to do it, I always regret it. So let's get started. I actually don't even have a name for what I actually do. So we'll have to come up with a name as I'm working this. But what I'm going to share with you is a way to use crystals and herbs to help infuse your environment with whatever vibe you feel you need at that time. It could be for protection. It could be for prosperity. It could be just for, remembering stuff if you're doing homework or if you're preparing for an exam. It could be bringing harmony into, your space with your partner. So it could be anything that you want it to be. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use crystals. We're going to use some herbs, and then I'm going to show you how to charge the crystals so that the energy in the crystal infuses into the rest of your environment. All right, so I am going to start off by saying that I am a crystal quartz hog. Okay, so like I absolutely love crystal quartz, clear crystal quartz, and then of course my labradorite. So the samples that I have are absolutely all crystal quartz, but you could use any type of crystal that you enjoy. One of the reasons that I do prefer just crystal quartz is because it's the foundation of all of the other crystals. And so it's almost like a white candle, right? You could do anything with a white candle, but if you want to get nice and spiffy about it, you could use a black candle or a red candle or a pink candle, right? But if you use a white candle, you're safe. That's the same approach with crystal quartz. It's kind of the foundation of everything. So I just enjoy it. And it's an amplifier. It's a huge amplifier. I mean, crystal quartz is used in our technology, right? It's in the crust of the earth. It's a huge amplifier. It's part of the electromagnetic field. Anyways, so again, the samples that I'm going to use are crystal quartz. Let me show you the samples, and then I will show you how you can charge your crystals and then how you can use them. Okay, so check this out. I get these look at that baby. Oh, I love this. Okay, this one is charged. Oop, I think I froze there, but this one is specifically charged for massive protection. I hang it right from my lamp next to my bed, and I use this for protection because especially with the work that I do, with a lot of spiritual and metaphysical and paranormal energy. And even with the clients that I work with, okay, there's a lot of emotional energy going on and around me. And sometimes, in the middle of the night, some spirits just kind of decide that they want to wake you up, and you never know what you're going to wake up to. And so I like to feel like I am protected. So this is my massive protection hanging crystal. That's what we'll call them, hanging crystals. Okay, so I have another one here. Okay, this one I use for healing. Okay, and they're like pendulums, right? If you're familiar with the pendulum, you could use this as a pendulum as well. I often do, but this one specifically for healing. So this one, when I charged it and I spelled it and I gave it intention, it's specifically for healing. I have these all around my office when I'm working with clients. Each one of them is charged differently. Again, just another hanging crystal. Okay, this one is a little different. Well, here I have another one here. Okay. Oh, I love this one. Look at this. This one is meshed together with my tree. So I did not charge this. Excuse me. I did not wrap this one, but look how pretty that is. That's a tree. Okay, another practitioner made this one for me, but another point here. So these are all charged differently. This one for me is my dream tree. Okay, so at night, I have this one hanging on my by my bed. Okay, and so this one I kind of rub and set the intention whenever I want to maybe lucid dream, or if I'm having some difficulty and I need to find an answer in my dreams. This is my go-to. Okay, so again, you could charge it with any intention that you like. Okay, all you need is a crystal, a chain, or something to hang it by. And basically, what you are creating is almost like a pendulum. Okay, so you could use any of these as a pendulum. And if you're familiar with the pendulum, right, we just kind of hold it and we let the pendulum talk to our subconscious, our higher self, and then we pull information out using the pendulum. But this is not a pendulum video. This is a hanging crystal video. So now I use chains most of the time, and I purchase the crystals that have the bales in them. Okay, so here are the bales, right? So they're prepared for hanging. Okay, but you don't have to buy anything fancy like this. I mean, literally, you could take a crystal. Let's say, for example, you're going to take you want to harmonize your area. Okay, you want to create love and peace in your environment. You might want to take a pink quartz, and you may want to. It does not have a bale, right? You want to take some twine or some thread, and then just wrap it around. And even the wrapping process is part of the energy work, right? Because as you're wrapping it, you can charge it, which I'm going to show you how to do in just a little bit. So you could create, even just a hanging crystal. Whoop, I don't want to drop it. A hanging crystal this way. Okay. You could use for harmony, for peace. You could take a larger version. Here's some amethyst. Right? If you're really looking for some spiritual work, or you're trying to tap into that third eye, or you're wanting to tap into your intuitive sense, you could hang some amethyst in your space. It's also a highly spiritual stone. If you're looking for some smoothing or some calm and peace and just tranquility, you could work with some moonstone. Again, wrap it around. If you're looking for maybe some massive protection, okay, you could get a piece of tourmaline. You can hang this in your car. Anything that you can wrap a twine around, or if you're purchasing one, you can have one wrapped. Like I did. Look at this beautiful work. I keep coming back to this tree. You could have a crystal wrapped. You can purchase one that's already wrapped. You could buy some hematite if you need some grounding. I definitely need some grounding because I've been dealing with some massive dizziness lately. So anything of this nature, okay? So the whole idea with these hanging crystals, I'm going to get my big one here, with these hanging crystals again, is that you work with the crystal, work with the essence of the crystal, and then you charge it. You give it a specific intention for what you want it to do, and then you hang it, right? And so as you're hanging it in your environment, this vibe of the crystal is infused into the environment, into your room, into your office, into your space, whatever that may be. Right. All right. So how do we charge them? Okay. So basically what I do is I like to work with herbs, and I really enjoy when my crystals sit in my herbs. Now, I'm very careful about using salt because salt sometimes can be corrosive, right? In the sense that it's abrasive, and I don't want to damage my crystals. So if I do use sea salt, I usually use sea salt, and then I'll layer I'll place a layer of maybe some softer herbs that the crystal can sit on, right? And so what I do is I will take a glass bowl. I always use glass. I never use plastic. So I will take the glass bowl, and then I'll place my crystals inside. And then what I will do is I will either sprinkle some of the herbs that I have, or I will place the herbs on the bottom and then place my crystals on top. But regardless, what I'm doing is I'm using the crystals, and the goal is to charge the crystal, to give it intention, right? The herbs will be symbolic of the intention that I want to infuse into the crystal. Now, we do want to work with the natural essence of the crystal. So for example, if we're working with the carnelian, okay, carnelian is about motivation and action and really getting the blood flowing, okay? I would probably use this if I'm looking for some motivation. Maybe I'm starting a project, okay? Or maybe I'm working on a project and I need to continue the motivation. Then I would probably use carnelian with some peppermint or some Mexican oregano, because those give a lot of energy flow, okay? And then I would use the twine and hang it near the area where I'm working on my project. Let's say, for example, that I'm looking for some, maybe some prosperity, or I'm looking for an increase in my income, okay? I might take a piece of green calcite, all right, and then maybe use some thyme. Okay, thyme is really good for anything financial. And so I would infuse it in the thyme and then wrap it and then hang it. Okay, so you could use any crystal with its natural essence and then energize it, give it direction on what you want it to do, and then use the herbs symbolically for the charging process. Now, how do we charge the crystal, right? Well, there's a variety of ways to do it. When I initially started off with my witchy work, I was very, very precise about the words that I was using, and I would write it down and I would sit with it, and it would take me a while to find the correct charging. And now I'm just like, okay, let's do this, because this is what's coming out of my mouth and this is the intention I'm setting, and let's go, right? But you do want to be careful what you're charging your crystal with. So I do encourage you to, if you're starting off, take the time to be very thoughtful about how you want to charge or give your crystals directions for what they want to do. Be very thoughtful of the herbs that you're also wanting to use. And then eventually when you start getting more comfortable with it, it'll come more naturally, and you won't necessarily have to write it down. Okay, so for example, with these crystals right here, especially the ones that I was using for protection, okay, so I'm coming back to this big one right here. I let this massive crystal sit in some vervain. Okay, so this is vervain. Yeah, that's my little reminder. That's vervain. Okay, so this is vervain. So I took my crystal bowl, I put some vervain in there, I put some sea salt on underneath, and then I let my crystal sit. And it just kind of sits for however long you feel it needs to sit. I personally don't think there's a right or wrong. I think a lot of this energy work, witchy work, is very intuitive. And so I just kind of let it sit for as long as I thought it needed. And then once I let it sit, either while it's still in the crystal and the bowl, or it's in my hand, I will give it specific direction. So I will just kind of infuse my energy into the crystal, and I will give it direction. And I am not very creative when it comes to like spell work, okay, or rhyming in my spell work. So I just kind of say whatever's on my mind. So I will say something to the effect of, thank you, Crystal, for being in my life. I appreciate you, and I would really appreciate if you would help me protect my environment, protect my clients, protect myself, protect the people that I love that come into my environment. And I thank you. And then I do my own personal little spell blessing, which is private to me. And there it is. I infuse it, right? I might see my energy going into the crystal. I might blow my energy into the crystal, however it works for you. Okay. And then that's it. And then I go and I hang them, and every time I see the crystal hanging, I know that I'm protected. I know that I'm bringing the best higher vibration into my environment and working with my clients and my loved ones and my friends. And so it's just a really wonderful way. Hanging crystals, I think, are a wonderful way to do a little bit of magic work, use some crystals and some herbs, and then yeah, just watch how your environment changes. Okay. I just had a client do one of these, and she was really looking to bring some harmony into her space, especially in her relationship. And she used the pink quartz, and she said, it's been amazing since, I did this, and nobody actually really knows what's going on, but the energy in the space just changed. So try it for yourself, see how it works. I would love to hear, to see if what kind of results you get. And again, this is just whatever you believe, whatever you infuse the crystal with, wherever your energy goes, that's wherever your focus goes is where your energy goes, right? And so your energy is going to follow your focus. So a lot of this is really about believing in the power, in the essence of yourself, your crystals, your herbs, and ultimately just have a good time with it. All right, everyone. I hope this has been helpful in some way. If you want to learn more about witchy metaphysical stuff, come and see me. If you're looking for, maybe some therapy, come and see me. I'm a licensed professional therapist as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Enjoy the hanging crystals. That's what we'll call them, the hanging crystals. All right, everyone. Take care and blessed be.